Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you another attempt at telling you that you can use other models. The Orks got buffed in that last points update, MFM, Balanced Data Slate Light, right? And people are bringing them out again. However, they're still doing the same old things. Warhorde and even bully boys are getting less love than what they should. Now, I've already tried to tell you about what you can do in the big hunt to maybe get a win or two. But hey, and Green Tide as well. Now, Warhorde it's okay. It definitely is good. But in my humble opinion, my unqualified opinion, I'll add that too. This is definitely if you smash your head against a wall enough times, you'll go through the wall. So, how about we do try things that, for when you do try it, either wins or gets really fucking close, right? Like third, fourth, bunch of seconds, right? How about we do some things in Dread Mob that again is actually not that bad, and I still would tell you that it's probably your best one. Um, and hopefully, maybe it catches on this time around that there are things you can do in Dread Mob that will make you dangerous. Now, before we get into it, I will tell you that the idea for this did start pretty damn stupid. Okay? Is like, what if you could just fucking Matroska the Orks, right? Like, you go from Battle Wagon to a truck into not truck and just win the game, right? And then I spiraled and found out new ideas. I shouldn't say new ideas, but things to highlight in Dread Mob, especially after looking at other detachments. I do implore you, no matter what your main army is, to just look at other armies and their detachments and things that they can do. Because I will say that as a Tyranid player, what with Orcs as one of my secondary armies, I do have a renewed vigor on things that can apply in Dreadmob because of me looking at things like the Explorer Mana Pool for AdMech. So if you know what that's about, you know where I'm going. Dreadmob, sorry, this is not the first take, and I forgot to scroll up. Dreadmob, for each time a Mech, Orcs Walker, or Garage Vehicle unit from your army is selected to shoot or fight, roll 1d6. Until the end of the phase, weapons equipped by models in that unit have the corresponding ability shown in the table below. On a 1 or a 2, sustained hits 1. On a 3 or a 4, lethal hits. On a 5 or a 6, each time an attack is made with this weapon on a critical wound, improve the AP characteristic of that attack by 2. You can also choose one of these at the cost of your weapons being hazardous. And if you have more than one source of hazardous, you fail on a 1 or a 2. You also gain Gretchen as battle line. That's a lot. Usually, people like a lot on top of a wah turn, right? Like usually people like having a detachment and an army rule, not just your army rule twice or like one thing. But hey, who am I? Dreadmob has mad potential. The enhancements, not going to get into that right now. I've covered these before. I just want to really quickly, the one that we really want to keep in mind for the purpose of this video is Daka Daka Daka. Each time you use the stratagem, you can choose to push it till the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack, re-roll a hit roll of 1. If you choose to push it, you can re-roll the entire hit roll instead, and you gain hazardous on the range weapons. This applies to an Ork Walker unit or Grotch vehicle unit from your army. It does not have the exclusion of Titanic. None of that. If it's one of these things, you can do it. And I also want us to talk about this one real quick. Bigger shows for bigger gets. One of the pain points of Orc players I see a lot is, how do I deal with the big thing? I don't know how to deal with the big thing. And it is odd as a semi outsider, or it's, I don't remember if I said it in this recording, so excuse me if I did say that, but is one of the backup armies I look towards, right? Don't want to use the Beast Snagger units for whatever reason. Shout out to Auspex Tactics. I usually would pull up, but you know Auspex by now. That just showed, hey, a Beast Boss can, with the right things, just take out Gilliman, okay? Don't want to use Beast Snaggers, and we don't want to bring anything that's big that can actually do the job, like the Gorkanaut and the Morkanaut. Now, I will say, I do still feel when your options are limited, it isn't fair for them to be costed so high. At the same time, the Gorkanaut and Morkanaut are not nearly as bad as they could be. They are still overcosted, but if you need things to die, I highly recommend you bring something that can make them die. So with bigger shows for bigger gets, your Mech, Orks Walker, or Grotch vehicle unit during the shooting phase can add 1 to the wound roll versus monsters or vehicles, and if you push it, add 1 to the damage characteristic, except you are now gaining hazardous. And again, it does not have any restrictions beyond these units, right? Yeah, if you just do it, okay? Just do it. So let's go into how we got here. The mech. I was thinking of a Cult of Speed list idea that, of course, I was like, well, if I have all these vehicles, I should probably look to take a mech. And I'll say that that doesn't seem to be the person that I want to take. And I'm also waiting to make that video after we see what the tank busters, if they get a new data sheet, do. So after that happens, we'll see. And it doesn't rely on the tank busters either, but if they do similar things, we'll see. But either way, we're looking at mechs, and I was like, well, shit. If you're telling me just don't attach it to anything for 45 points, I now have a loan up next to Ork's vehicle, right? I have a loan up, so loan up light that we've talked a fair bit about on this channel recently. Um, and then I can, at the end of your movement phase, you can select one friendly Orc vehicle model within 3 inches of this model. That vehicle model gains up to D3 lost wounds, and until the start of your next movement phase, each time that vehicle model makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Each model can only be selected for this ability once per turn. Does not say only one model with this ability. 3 mechs can do it onto 3 separate vehicles. Add 1 to the hit roll until the start of your next movement phase. So that means ranged and melee, both things that get benefits in Dread Mob. So that's key number 1. So you go, this is all like a no-brainer, no shit. I would think so, but it seems that people are terribly adverse to trying to make Dread Mob work in the way that you would think. So here I am to go, hey, do the thing. And one of the things you can do with the mech boosting, back to my Matryoshka doll idea, Morkanot. Now, now. Say Morkanot because this is the range version, and if you're getting into melee with these things, I don't think you need Gorkanot to add one to hit. Could be wrong, but the Morkanot. You have clanking forward each time this model makes a move, yada yada yada. Terrain features less than 4 inches or less, move over it. Big and shooty each time this model makes a ranged attack. If the WA is active for your army, add one to the hit roll. So outside of the WA turn, you can take your mech, bless this orc vehicle, +1 to hit, make this range profile, right? Custom Mega Blaster, Custom Mega Zapper, 2 rocket launches, 2 twin big shooters, and well, the Claw MORK is not a ranged weapon. But all of this, hitting on 4s, lethal sustained or bonus AP, re-rolling 1s. Alright? Okay? Hell, if you feel like you really need the sustain, choose it. Maybe take a couple of wounds on your 20 wound Morkanot. That is T12, 3 up save, 5 up invuln. And then, if the hazardous goes off, you heal it back up with the mech, who is alone up. That good luck them trying to get to your mech that popped out of a Morkanot and just stood behind it. Yeah, the mech, everybody, and the Morkanot. 280. Still expensive. That is, we're looking at like 300 points there, right? 300 is points. 325 for this package. You know, 650 for 2 of these packages. That's less than half of your list for 2 Titanic models. T12, 3 up save, 5 up invulnerable save, 20 wounds. But I still need, oh man, I still need action monkeys. Whatever shall I do? Man, I need battle line. What? If only there was cheap battle line that could do actions. And hell, maybe, just maybe, even get me a CP. Yeah, you have Gretchen as battle line in here. I didn't pull them up for that, but fuck it, let's pull them up real quick just so you can see them in your face. I said infantry, no? There we go. Infantry. Here is your thing that in some missions will score you even more points. Gretchen. And that I don't want to be that guy every time, but we have found out that it is pretty annoying to try to get rid of 22 models per round. So if you bring 44, 66 of these bastards to do your actions while your Morkanot is killing everything on the field. Oh, but it only gets up to strength 10. How will I kill monsters and vehicles? And it doesn't have the restriction of Cult of Speed where it's like, well, you can't stack these. 2 CP, you get to re-roll your hits. And you get to bigger shells for bigger gets. Wow, some sustained and lethals and or AP characteristic up by 2 goes off for all it is. Okay. Decent damage profiles. I understand. Orc shooting, not a thing that people usually go for, but from out of the dread mob list we see that people just go for orc shooting with things smaller than a Morkanaut. You're looking at the shock attack gun and the looters. You're looking at shock attack gun and the mech guns. These are things that, yeah, they are better at shooting than the rest of the army. However, I feel it will be okay. It will be okay. So, maybe let's throw the Morkanaut. And then past that, let's talk about the other mechs. And, well, again, I've realized that I don't think I know I've talked about it in a video, but I couldn't remember what video it was in or if I actually record like published the video. But Big Mech in Mecha armor can attach to can attach to Mega Knobs. There's things that everybody loved, but I get it. The price went up. It became less appealing. With the Big Mech and Mega armor, if you take the custom force field, you can give your unit a 4-up invulnerable save versus ranged attacks. And you can reroll hits of 1 for the unit. And your unit, the Mega Knobs, right, has 2 options of ranged weapons. The combi weapon, anti-infantry 4, devastating wounds, rapid fire 1, 24 inches, 1 attack, hitting on 5, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Doesn't sound impressive, right? It doesn't. It isn't. Custom shooter, rapid fire 2, 18 inches, 4 attacks, hitting on 5s, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Still not that impressive. I will give you that. However, I will tell you, in this game, volume of attacks does have a good amount of room to be played with. So you get to that rapid fire 2, you have 6 models with 6 shots. Yeah, 36 shots. Still have to hit on 5s, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. Why would that be something to look forward to? I'm not taking my Mega Knobs for their shooting. You're right. You now also have the option for them to be in melee as well. While your Big Mech and Mega Armor also has quite the melee profile on them. But I say all that because, oh wait, we are in Dread Mob. That means that 36 shots, re-rolling, I could tell you as a Tyrannage player, where you have old one-eyed friends where I don't really care about what they do with their 4s, but if we can make it better, we're going to do it. Sustain hits 1 or lethal hits or AP characteristic by 2, it gets better. And that's just if you go that route. You also could just, well, weight of attacks +1 to the wound on one of those big targets, right? Because it's a mech unit. So, and also you can choose, right? Do the hazardous. You could choose. Maybe some of them will perish. Oh, wait, if some of them perish or take some damage. Thank goodness I have a Grot Oiler, and my Big Mech and Mega Armor can return 1 destroyed bodyguard model to the unit in my command phase. But how am I going to get the Mega Knobs up the board to do things and unleash hell upon my enemy? Oh wait, the Morkanaut is a transport. What's the capacity on this thing? 12 Orks infantry, can't take gas. Each Mega Armor or Jump Pack model takes up the space of 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Huh, so that's 1. I can take 5 Mega Knobs and the Big Mech and put it into the Morkanaut? Or hell, take 3, or maybe after somebody dies, slam it in the Morkanaut along with the mech, go up the board, unleash hell that way, right? It's doable. The Mega Knobs. You want to take them anyway, because we all know that the Wah turn making them have a feel no pain of a 5 up for a T6, 2 up save, 3 wound body that now has a 4 up invulnerable versus ranged attacks, and has quite the melee loadout. Yeah, things will get punched during that turn. And speaking of things that can bring Mega Knobs, gas. Maybe instead of relying on just Gaz's, or I guess Makari's, uh, banner for the water, how about you have that option? And, well, if you get all these Mega Knobs into melee around Gaz, you can choose to have them be sustained at the risk of course, hazardous once more, while getting lethals within that foot, right? So, sustained lethals, Mega Knobs, melee. I'm not saying taking the twin link, but again, if that's what you so desire, you can. But beyond that, people wanted these because they wanted the ability to like punch katans and shit. Alright? Sustain lethals without needing to risk yourself blowing up twice by bringing, or without praying for press it faster, I guess not necessarily blowing yourself up twice. Alright? I'm sorry, that's right, it's only in shooting, so couldn't even do that. Now you just have that option. Sustain lethal within a foot of Makari during the WA turn when things can pop out of that transport. Maybe the transport got blown up and da 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 da. Right? Go for it. That's your detachment rule. It's not a stratagem, so you just get that. So go ahead and gas. Cool by itself. Bring some Mega Knobs. Well, while this unit is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll and 1 to the wound roll, and if you call it a WA, this battle round crits on 5s. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't say Mega Knobs units or whatever, so you're bringing the Mega Knobs and the Mech is the thing giving them the ability to work in this detachment, so not really a place there, but we've seen Gaz pop up in some interesting detachments. So maybe Gaz doesn't always need to be supported. And you can't take Gaz into the Morkanaut or the Gorkanaut if that's the route that you go to, but because it is cheaper, right? And if you're going for +1 to hit anyway, with the mech, maybe you go just because it's cheaper and free up some points that way. But you know, you can take Gaz on foot or something else we'll get to later. Then talking about other mechs, the big mech. This is the one that has been getting a little bit more time in the sun because people are like, wait, models in that unit can move horizontally through models and terrain features? Awesome. Big mech time. And yeah, I'm down for the big mech time with this melee weapon profile, and of course, rerolling ones. Same with the big mech with shock attack gun, rerolling the ones to ranged attacks. Also, the ranged Snotling Assault. In your shooting phase, after this model has shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks. That enemy unit must take a battle shock test. People have really liked the shock attack gun because, well, it's actually a pretty decent profile when you have the option for sustained or lethals and rerolling. Well, actually, no, not rerolling. Excuse me, but well, yeah, rerolling. Sorry, there's so much rerolling in this that I'm forgetting. But yeah, it's a pretty solid profile for that. And I will say another idea that I had that isn't quite worth it, but if you can pull it off, I would love to hear your results. Both of these can lead knobs, right? Knobs are not known for their shooting, but knobs do have access to the ammo run. Once per battle, for each ammo run this unit has, when this unit is selected to shoot, it can use this ability. If it does, until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in this unit have the lethal hits ability. monster, you just said I can pick if I wanted lethal hits from the detachment. Why would I take knobs with this shitty range profile and give them lethal hits just because they're attached to mechs? That's where the problem kind of halfway comes in. You can also though pick sustained and give them lethals, and once again you have sustained and lethals. I don't know how much you value two shots from a combi weapon doing this with anti-infantry 4-up and dev wounds. I don't know if the slugger is the way to go, where you have now, well, 10 models at a foot. That's 20 shots. Re-rolling, sustained lethals. Uh, it's better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. But that was an idea I had, and I figured I might as well say it in case you know a way to make it better. Or you want to try it and you're just like, actually, that shit was amazing. Good looking up. So that's the idea. And then the battle wagon. This goes to the whole Matryoshka doll idea I had in my head. Morkanot to battle wagon to mega knobs in your face. If that was the needed case. Um, the battle wagon. This is probably how you can move gas around. Don't forget, you can't take the R case on it if you do that. Um, and you also can't take cannon, kill cannon, or zap cannon. But you know, still memeing on something is funny, right, guys? But yeah, the battle wagon. This gives you access to taking them up. Firing deck 11, excuse me. Firing deck 11. Get your mega knobs up there. Maybe fly out and unleash this flurry of attacks, sustained, lethals, whatever your heart desires, re-rolling, and then prep for the turn after that, where then you just charge them in the battle and just beat somebody's ass. But yeah, battle wagon. 22 orcs infantry. Each mega armor is 2. So, again, you have that access to get them in there. Gas takes up 15. This is your gas mobile. Well, you had 2 Morkanauts. Or Gorkanauts again. Like, the more I think about it, maybe you should just take Gorkanaut and double down on needing your, on your mech at the, at like cheaper cost. And one less on strength. The damage is much worse. Stick with the Morkanaut. I mean, you could roll worse, so I guess there is that factor, but yeah, your call. Depends on what's cheaper and what you want to run. Then finally, the kill rig. I we've seen triple kill rig come out in quite a few lists, mainly Warhorde, but then again, people are only playing Warhorde. Um, I've been an advocate of the kill rig for its inception because I like the model, and the ability isn't nearly that bad. And people are realizing, wait, this thing actually kinda slaps. The kill rig. At the start of the fight phase, you can select one friendly orc unit within a foot of this model and roll 1d6 on a 1. This model suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 2 through 5, until the end of the phase, add 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in that unit. On a 6, until the end of the phase, get the same perk and add lethal hits on top. Add lethal hits. If you roll the 6 on your thing, you get the lethal hits. You're already getting the strength regardless, but again, you just pick sustain for what you want to just go to town after you get some kill rigs going. Maybe a kill rig or 2. Maybe you don't take gas. Maybe you throw the kill rig in the place of the battle wagon and gas. And take Beast Boss and some Beast Nega boys. And then you see you just have a list of how the fuck do I kill these things? That kill rig has a feel no pain of a 6 up while being T10 and 16 wounds on a 3 up save. They got 2 Morkanauts in my face, T12, 3 up save, 5 up invo, and 20 wounds. Like, this shit is a fucking annoying. Meanwhile, they're shooting everything, punching me in the fucking mouth with their mega knobs because they're attached to this big mech that's making them fucking live forever with 4 up invulnerable save and bringing one back in the command phase. And shit, did I hear wah? So they have a 5 up field, no pain. Like, Dread Mob has play. I don't know the ratios of things that you want to do with this. Who knows? Who knows? But no, no, just try. Just try. Right? There's a lot of things in here, and it is a shame that I understand when it feels like the entire codex is worthless. Because I will also agree that this codex is keyworded to hell and back for seemingly no good reason. There are things that makes it very tedious on what gets left out. Like, for example, Flaskets and like Storm Boys only get a benefit, a real benefit, in Warhorde. So, like, I understand that. But at the same time, there are some things here that take your Morkanaut out to play. Make it so that your mech 45 points, right? It is that's a cheap action doer outside of giving the ability. That it can get transported in the thing that you want to take care of your opponent's army. So maybe, you know, bring out the Mechanaut. Mechanaut? Yeah, hey, the Mercanaut. Mechanaut? Whatever. And I guess I should, just for the hell of it, pull up the Stompa. 800 points. Terribly. Maybe not terribly. It's pretty severely overcosted. 14 wounds, 2 up save, 6 up invuln. Sorry, toughness 14, not 14 wounds. Toughness 14, 2 up save, 6 up invuln, 30 wounds. Hey, doesn't have an exclusion there. The Titanic units for extra gubbins applies to both the Gorkanaut and the Morkanaut as well. There's no restrictions here. Maybe you take one Stompa that is getting chipped at, and your mech keeps it going, right? Maybe that's the case. And you get a fuck ton of Gretchen to do everything else you could possibly wanted to do. Your sustained, lethals, rerolling, whatever the fuck your heart desires for the Stompa. It would be really funny as fuck if Stompa ends up being the thing to make the Dread Mob list like tournament topping. A Stompa hitting on 4s, right? Rerolling is kinda scary. 3d6 on the Death Cannon. Sustained and or lethals. And again, you can fucking choose, right? Like, you can choose sustained. And then target damn near your opponent's army while being hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s, or rerolling all hits if you want to push it. What's taking the Stompa out in one turn before you take out your opponent's entire army with just a little guy, right? So, thinking about that ending point, I'm probably making the thumbnail a Stompa. Maybe not. I still need people to have faith in me. Whatever it is, you'll see. Maybe it's a Morkanaut. Maybe it's a Stompa. in the thumbnail. You already know by now, and I don't. Future me knows. But yeah, try out Dread Mob, please. There's room. There's wiggle room. Every time people actually like tries it out, it has pretty decent results. But instead, we keep throwing our heads and going, "Why won't my war horde work? Damn it!" But my bully boys, I get it. Try it. When people try it, it does pretty decent. I will say, there was a couple of weekends where it was pretty rough. Yeah, looking at some of those Meta Monday results where it was just like, look, we can't get it the fuck together. So hey, I will cut some slack there. But yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.